So imagine someone like aggressively cuts you off in traffic.
Oh, the absolute worst.
Right. They speed away, just weaving dangerously between lanes, and then, maybe 2 miles down the road, you see them pulled over by a police officer.
And you just get that instant feeling of satisfaction.
Exactly. You probably smile to yourself and think, instant karma. It feels, well, incredibly satisfying, doesn't it?
It really does. It's human nature.
But what if treating the universe like this cosmic vending machine of revenge is just fundamentally flawed, like an entirely wrong way of looking at reality?
Yeah, it completely misses the point.
Right. So welcome in. You are joining us today because you are what we call the learner. You want to cut through the noise, skip the information overload, and gain a crystal clear understanding of a complex topic.
And today is definitely a big one.
It is. Today we're doing a deep dive into this really brilliant piece from the Yield Zenith Years blog. It's titled, What is Karma? Understanding the meaning, types, and how it shapes our lives.
Such a great breakdown in that article.
Yeah, it really is. And our mission here is to look way past that casual, pop culture definition of instant payback and actually map out the intricate mechanical system of cause and effect that this concept represents. Okay, let's unpack this.
I'm ready.
Because before we can even begin to apply this to our daily commutes or our Tuesday morning meetings, we have to strip the mysticism completely away.
Yeah, and that pop culture definition is a tough one to shake. I mean, we've essentially reduced thousands of years of profound philosophy into, well, bumper sticker.
Literally a bumper sticker, yeah.
Right, people use it as a synonym for luck, or worse, this kind of supernatural scorekeeper. But when you look at the actual roots of the concept, the paradigm shifts entirely.
Which is wild because the actual translation is so simple.
Exactly. The word itself comes from Sanskrit, but it doesn't translate to fate or destiny or, cosmic justice. It simply means action.
That translation alone is such a grounding reality check. I mean, if karma just means action, it completely takes the magic out of it and replaces it with physics almost.
Yes, behavioral physics. That's a great way to look at it.
We're talking about the core belief that actions, words, and incredibly even our private thoughts generate consequences.
Right. It creates this continuous, inescapable loop of cause and effect.
And while the origins of this framework are tied to these massive spiritual traditions, like Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism, you absolutely do not have to be a practitioner to engage with it.
None at all.
It operates as this universal, secular reminder that human choices just carry weight.
Yeah, it functions as a psychological map of reality.
Mm.
Across all these disparate traditions, the underlying mechanics remain remarkably consistent.
Which is that every single choice generates momentum.
Right. Intentional actions tend to build positive momentum. They create favorable environments.
While the harmful, selfish actions generate friction.
Exactly. Friction, which eventually leads to difficult outcomes.
And the most common way to visualize that momentum, which the source gets into, is the garden analogy.
Oh yeah, the seeds and the weeds.
Right. Every action you take is a seed. Good actions are healthy seeds that will eventually grow into something nourishing. Harmful actions are seeds for weeds that will, eventually choke out your flowers.
It's a very elegant metaphor.
It is, but I actually have to push back on this analogy just a bit.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because if karma is exactly like planting a garden, that implies a very rigid one-to-one ratio of planting to harvesting.
I see where you're going with this.
Right. Doesn't this mean that every time an innocent, good person faces a devastating hardship like an illness, a natural disaster, financial ruin, it's because they secretly planted a bad weed? I mean, are we just fundamentally blaming the victim here?
What's fascinating here is that I'm so glad you brought that up, because victim blaming is the single most dangerous misinterpretation of this entire philosophy.
It just feels so harsh otherwise.
It does, but life is infinitely more complex than a simple algebraic equation where, X amount of suffering equals Y amount of past guilt.
Okay, so it's not a direct one-to-one payout.
No, the reality is that karma doesn't mean every good person is guaranteed a perfectly frictionless life, nor does it mean every mistake you make summons an immediate lightning bolt of disaster.
Right, so we aren't dealing with a ledger book being balanced every night by some cosmic accountant.
Far from it. We really need to view karma as an internal locus of control.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's a framework that encourages personal responsibility for the things you actually can govern, rather than, a system for judging why bad things happen to other people.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a huge distinction.
Right. When you choose honesty, kindness, or patience, You are actively participating in creating a more resilient environment. You are tilting the statistical odds in favor of a healthier garden.
But a hurricane can still roll through and decimate your crops.
Exactly. The hurricane isn't necessarily your karma. The hurricane is just the chaotic reality of living on planet Earth.
Right, weather just happens.
Yeah, your karma is how you planted the garden before the storm, and crucially, how you choose to rebuild it afterward.
Man, that distinction changes everything. It shifts the entire focus from obsessing over the past or judging others to just taking total ownership of the present moment.
Exactly. It's incredibly empowering when you look at it that way.
And speaking of how the past and present interact, let's look at the mechanics of time here. Because these actions, these seeds, they don't just go into one big chaotic bucket.
No, they don't. The source gets very specific about this.
Right. The framework actually categorizes karma into 4 distinct types that operate over time, almost like, well, 4 pillars supporting the entire system.
And exploring those 4 pillars is where you really start to see the gears turning. They methodically break down how a single action originates in the past, moves through your present reality, and echoes into your future.
So let's walk through them. The first category is Sanchita karma.
Yes, Sanchita. This is the vast, cumulative repository of every action you have ever taken. It is the total buildup of your history.
So if you're trying to map this out in your head, I think the easiest way to grasp Sanchita karma is to think of it like a massive cloud storage drive.
Oh, I like that.
Right. It is the ultimate digital archive of absolutely everything you have ever done, every choice, every habit just sitting there in the data center.
Yeah, you aren't interacting with all those terabytes of data right this second, but they exist. That potential energy is just waiting there.
Exactly.
That digital analogy actually works perfectly for the modern learner, perhaps even better than the agrarian gardening metaphor, honestly,
Really? Why is that?
because it emphasizes latency.
Hmm.
The data is there, but it requires a trigger to be brought into your active experience. And that brings us to the second type, which is Parabdha karma.
Parabdha, right.
Yes, this is the specific, isolated portion of your past karma that is finally ripened. It is the subset of your history that is actively shaping your present circumstances right now.
Okay, so keeping with the computer mechanics, if Sanchita is the entire cloud drive, Parabdha is the specific file that has been downloaded onto your desktop today.
Spot on. It is the project currently open on your screen that you are forced to deal with.
Right, like maybe you created the file years ago, maybe you completely forgot you even drafted it, but now the context of your life has opened it up and you just have to navigate it.
Exactly. It is your unavoidable present reality, which is entirely shaped by your past input.
But the crucial mechanism to understand here is why that specific file gets downloaded today and not tomorrow. It isn't just random.
Sanchita Vault only sprouts, or in your analogy, a file only downloads, when your current environment provides the exact right conditions for it.
Okay, so give me an example of that.
Well, if you planted a seed of anger 5 years ago, it might lie completely dormant. But then you find yourself in a highly stressful work environment, and suddenly the conditions are right, and that Parabdha karma manifests.
Oh, that makes so much sense. The environment acts as the trigger.
Yes, exactly.
But we aren't just passive observers watching files open on our screens, right? We have agency, which is where the third pillar comes in, Kriyamana karma.
Kriyamana, yes. This is the karma we are actively generating right now, in this exact millisecond, through our present choices.
Right.
This is the true inflection point of the whole system.
Right.
Kriyamana is your free will in action.
It's the live typing.
Yes, the live type.
It's the literal keystrokes you are making inside that open document.
Yeah.
You might have downloaded a terribly difficult file, like maybe you're navigating a painful breakup or a sudden job loss, which is your Parabdha.
Right, the unavoidable present.
Exactly. But your Kriyamana is how you choose to edit that reality right now. Do you, type out a response fueled by bitterness, or do you choose to respond with grace and adaptability?
And the psychological weight of that live typing is immense.
Yeah.
Because it instantly generates the fourth and final type, which is Agami karma.
Okay, Agami, what's that one?
This is the future karma created by your current actions. It's the direct, mechanical bridge between what you are doing right now and what you will experience later.
So in our computer analogy, Agami is you hitting the save button.
Exactly. Hitting save.
You did the live typing, you made your conscious or unconscious choices, and now you have saved that new data. And it immediately uploads right back into the Sanchita cloud storage.
Right. Just waiting to become a downloaded file for you to deal with tomorrow or next month or a decade from now.
When you lay it out sequentially like that, the cloud storage, the downloaded file, the live typing, and hitting save, you realize how beautifully elegant the mechanism is.
It really is. And what's vital to recognize is that while different philosophical schools might debate the metaphysical nuances of what happens to this cloud storage after we die, they all align on the practical application.
Which is what?
The entire architecture exists solely to highlight the crushing importance of what you are doing today. You are the author.
Which completely shatters the most common myths people hold.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when you understand karma as this ongoing, dynamic process of typing and saving, the idea of it being a magical vengeance machine just disintegrates.
It falls apart completely.
Yeah, so we really need to walk through the major misunderstandings that this structural view clears up, starting with this human obsession with cosmic justice.
Right, myth number one.
We inherently love the idea of the scales being forcibly balanced by some invisible judge.
We do, but karma is entirely devoid of that moral judgment. It is not a form of punishment or revenge.
Oh.
It is viewed as a natural law, as emotionally neutral and indifferent as gravity.
Let's explore that mechanism, because it's a profound shift in perspective. If you drop a glass on a tile floor, it shatters.
Right.
Gravity isn't sitting on a throne, judging you for being clumsy and deciding to punish you by breaking your favorite glass. Gravity is just a blind mechanical force operating on mass.
Exactly that. Karma operates the exact same way, just on behavioral momentum instead of physical mass.
Wow.
Yeah, the friction or harmony you experience is just the natural byproduct of the behavioral physics you initiated.
And understanding that neutrality naturally clears up the next major misconception, which is the expectation of speed.
Oh, myth number two, yes.
Right. We live in a world of instant gratification, so we expect instant karma.
Right, we want to see the person who cut us off get pulled over immediately.
Exactly. But if we look at Agami karma, that process of hitting save for the future, we see that the results of our actions take time to materialize.
They do. They are rarely obvious, and they are almost never instantaneous.
I mean, you can plant a seed of extreme generosity today, but you don't wake up to a fully grown apple tree tomorrow morning.
Which is precisely why you hear people get so frustrated and cynical. They say, karma isn't real, I bend over backward for people, and nothing good ever happens to me.
Yeah, you hear that all the time.
Right. But they are fundamentally misunderstanding the timeline and the required conditions. Nature doesn't rush.
But why doesn't it rush? I mean, what is the actual mechanism causing the delay?
Well, it goes back to what we discussed about environmental resonance. A physical seed requires a highly specific interplay of soil temperature, moisture, and microbial activity over months to actually sprout.
Okay.
Similarly, human actions require contextual alignment to manifest outcomes. Your good deed goes into the Sanchita cloud, but the real-world conditions for that specific momentum to return to you might not align for years.
So you're basically just waiting for the right contextual application to open.
Exactly.
Okay, but if karma is the ultimate law of cause and effect, the fundamental gravity of our actions, I have to play devil's advocate again here,
Go for it.
how can it not control everything?
Myth number three.
Right, because if every single action I take is a seed, shouldn't my entire garden look exactly 100% like what I planted?
This raises an important question, and it addresses the most paralyzing myth of all, which is the belief in absolute deterministic control.
Because it's not absolute.
No. The reality is that human lives do not exist in a vacuum. You are planting seeds, yes, but you are surrounded by 8 billion other people, all frantically planting their own seeds in the exact same soil.
My garden is continuously overlapping with everyone else's garden.
Exactly. That is the matrix of causation. Our lives are shaped by our own choices, undeniably.
Right.
But they are simultaneously being shaped by the Kriyamana, the live typing of everyone around us.
Right, we're all in the same document.
Yes. Furthermore, we are operating inside massive systemic environments, economic shifts, and completely chaotic physical events.
Like the hurricane from earlier.
Right. A sudden economic recession that costs you your job isn't necessarily a reflection of your personal karmic ledger. It is the result of millions of overlapping actions in a complex global system.
Wow, okay.
Karma is just one underlying thread of personal responsibility woven into a massive, chaotic tapestry of existence.
It doesn't control the weather, but it controls how you waterproof your house and how you treat your neighbors when the floodwaters rise.
Well said. You don't control the macro environment, but your internal momentum dictates your navigation of it.
So, bringing this all the way down to earth, what does this mean for us on a Tuesday morning?
Right, the practical application.
Yeah, if karma doesn't micromanage every single unexpected event, but our actions still dictate the structural integrity of our future, how do we use this practically? Can we actually change our karma?
The resounding optimistic answer is yes. You can always alter your trajectory by making better choices today.
But wait, we established we can't delete the bad files from the cloud storage?
That's true.
So if I made a series of, incredibly selfish, destructive choices 5 years ago, those seeds are already in the ground. They are going to sprout.
True. You cannot erase past mistakes. You can't unring the bell.
Okay, so what do we do?
Well, the mechanism of change lies entirely in your kriyamana, your present actions. When a past negative action ripens and presents itself as a difficult situation today, your awareness gives you the power to break the loop.
Meaning, I don't have to react the same way I used to.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
If you realize a past action caused harm, and you consciously choose to absorb that friction rather than pass it on, you are writing new code. You are changing the algorithm of your future.
And doing that doesn't require, selling all your belongings and moving to a silent retreat.
Yeah, not at all.
The practical application here from the source is all about microactions. Choosing honesty in a slightly uncomfortable conversation. Choosing patience when a barista messes up your order. Acting with basic respect.
Yes, those tiny moments are the actual keystrokes of your future.
Like a single smile directed at a stranger who looks completely defeated or helping someone without them even acknowledging it. You are actively planting healthy seeds.
And scientifically speaking, those microactions actually rewire your neural pathways.
Wait, really? The brain itself changes?
Yeah. By consistently choosing patience or kindness, you train your brain to recognize positive opportunities, which literally creates the fertile environmental conditions needed for your past positive karma to finally sprout.
That is amazing.
It is. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the ultimate why it matters becomes incredibly empowering. Understanding this framework isn't about looking over your shoulder waiting for the universe to punish you.
Right.
It shifts us completely away from operating out of fear and moves us into a state of active mindfulness.
It's the ultimate shift from anxiety to agency. We started this deep dive looking at a cheap pop culture buzzword. But by stripping away the noise, we've uncovered a continuous four-part mechanical system of cause and effect.
It's a profound system.
It is. It demands absolute personal responsibility for our life typing, but it rewards everyday mindfulness in equal measure.
Yeah, it is the profound realization that no action, no matter how small, is ever truly wasted in the ecosystem of your life.
So as we wrap up our time together, I just want to say thank you for joining us on this exploration, learner. But before you go, here's where it gets really interesting.
Oh, I love this part.
I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over as you navigate the rest of your day. Early on, we touched on a detail that is so easy to gloss over. The fact that karma applies to our actions, our words, and even our thoughts.
Yes, the internal actions.
Right. We spend so much energy policing our outward behavior, carefully managing our words to ensure we look like we're planting good seeds for the rest of the world to see. But if our private, unspoken thoughts carry the exact same mechanical weight, what kind of invisible garden are you cultivating inside your own mind when absolutely no one else is watching?